Let's get Yurified.
Wait, what? You've never heard of Yuri? That's like saying you never heard of Jesus. Well, fear not, my friends, cause I'm about to give you a detailed summary of Yuri and all that it stands for. And at this point, you might be wondering to yourself, who the f*** are you? And what the hell do you know? And to that I say, I'm just a humble Yuri fan who can only give his opinions, but I'll definitely do my very best to make sure this video is informative, insightful, and not a complete waste of your time. So let's begin, shall we? Now for those who really don't know, Yuri means lily in Japanese, and it's also a genre that depicts the homosexual relationship between girls in media. This includes Japanese anime, manga, and video games. However, if you were to ask any Yuri fan, we can tell you that Yuri is much, much more. Yuri is many things. It's passionate, it's heartfelt, it's humorous, it's dramatic, it's moe, it's erotic, it's wishful thinking, it's wondrous, it's fan service, it's bizarre, it's tragic, it's enchanting, it's forbidden, and to someone like myself, it is escapism. Just like any good work of fiction, Yuri sends us to a world where our interest for it can be fulfilled and explored. Whether it's the central focus in a story or lingering quietly in the background, Yuri ultimately adds more layers to any framework. And at the center of all this are the characters and the intimate relationships they share with each other. When we see Yuri expressed in media, it can range from extreme to light representations, and the relationships between characters can be seen as either canon or non-canon. Anime like Strawberry Panic and Sakura Trick are examples where Yuri is explicit and the main focus of the series, allowing it to be fleshed out and given full attention. We get to see the characters engage in all-out romantic actions, such as kissing, dating, confessing their love, and other wholesome activities. Now, I just mentioned that Yuri can also be portrayed in a lighter, non-canonical fashion, and I suppose I can best describe that as being subtext. However, and this is perfectly understandable, I imagine that people will most likely only consider Yuri to be viewed under romance that is considered overt in nature. In other words, the feelings shared between characters are proven to be sexual attraction. So yes, to put it simply, that is the general depiction of Yuri. Female characters who are explicitly attracted to each other. So this is why when I say that subtext can also be seen as Yuri, you can take that with a grain of salt. But in hindsight, there's a good argument to be made that Yuri extends beyond traditional romantic indicators and can also include girls being implicitly attracted to each other. That's a video essay waiting to happen. In any case, regardless of how anyone else defines Yuri or what they consider indicative of being Yuri, I, myself, personally, me, yours truly, moi, watashi, yo mismo, mixaber, the royal we, insert pronoun here, describe Yuri as girls showing intimate affection for each other. Now again, that's totally subjective and you don't have to agree with that. And admittedly, that does sound a bit vague, but my reason for coming to this conclusion is personally seeing how much the line between intimate relations and romantic attraction between female characters have blurred over the years, especially in anime. It's obviously difficult to pinpoint whether or not a character harbors feelings that are romantic in nature if we don't get enough evidence, but at the very least, I certainly don't want to toss out any likely possibility of Yuri. Anyway, bottom line is, whether something is Yuri or not really all depends on your interpretation, and how that something makes you feel on an emotional level. Like for example, maybe there's an anime scene where you actually get enough of a romantic connection between the characters without them having to spell it out for you. What was it that Elton John said? Can you feel the love to... Now this brings me to another important appeal about Yuri, the shipping. To a Yuri fan, the amount of joy they get every time from imagining two of their favorite characters in a romantic relationship is akin to a furry discovering DeviantArt for the first time. See, shipping is when we place two characters together, sometimes regardless of context or series, and establish them as a potential couple. It can even be more than two characters sometimes, cause I'm into that stuff too. What makes shipping so wonderful is the very idea of indulging in the potential of characters being in certain relationships. We typically all have different standards and reasons when we're shipping characters, but at the heart of it, we simply like seeing those characters together. Ships ships are often born from seeing interactions between those characters, like how they act towards each other and special moments shared between them. This in turn has led to a booming market of fan-made projects, specifically doujinshi, also known as fanfics, also known as our heart's greatest desires, also known as headcanon material, also known as— oh my god! What the hell am I reading? And although they aren't official, and questionable in quality sometimes, they are made with the love of true fans. Fanfictions like these have certainly helped pairings gain more notoriety over the years. They can even develop or provide new perspective on those characters. Honestly, after reading God knows how many doujinshi featuring some of my favorite ships, I've become more emotionally attached to those characters, and more informed on their characteristics, their desires, and so on. The point is, ships are another catalyst for Yuri. It's all about the characters after all, and shipping has become a major contributor to the growth of Yuri as a genre. We can thank the fans for that. So to summarize, Yuri is the suggested and explicit romantic bond between female characters. How that is represented in media will vary, as well as how people choose to consume Yuri. But one thing is certain, this genre is continuously growing in content, variety, and demand. Here's hoping we see Yuri become mainstream pretty soon. That'll show the plebes out there how great it is. But for the time being, I hope my little summary provided you with some clarification. Now I'm aware that there is much more to discuss about the subject of Yuri. That's exactly why I started this channel, to provide as much Yuri related videos as time goes on, and I can confidently say that I am absolutely thrilled at the prospect of discussing and creating Yuri content, as it is quite honestly a true passion of mine. And hey, if you want proof of that, you can check out some of my Yuri artwork at GarthuE8 on Twitter, Pixiv, and DeviantArt. Don't expect furry stuff on there though. Links are in the description down under. Well, that brings us to a close, folks. And with that said,